In this video I'll be showcasing my own Skyrim mod list, which will overhaul both the visuals and gameplay mechanics, bringing Skyrim closer to the look and feel of a truly remastered version of the game. This video is going to be split into two main sections, visuals and gameplay. Visually, I aim to have a touch of both realism and fantasy, and gameplay wise I just try to improve upon the core vanilla experience. I highly encourage you to use my mod list to serve as a base for your own customized Skyrim experience. Now let's start with the core graphics mods. For a long time I used vivid landscapes, but just recently I switched to the Omnibus. The Omnibus is a collection of all the terrain parallax textures released by the talented Mysterious Dawn in one easy download. If you didn't know, parallax shaders are used to create a 3D effect for textures. The mod covers all the snow, dirt, sand and other natural grounds. These textures are excellently handcrafted and feature realistic details and colours, making the game's environment more next generation looking. And as for mountains, I use Northfire's Photoreal Mountains, which gives them a more dark and textured look. Northfire's textures also require majestic mountains, which improve upon the mountain meshes, making them less blocky and more realistic. Now onto flora. To replace the trees, I use Happy Little Trees. The mod replaces the vanilla trees with high quality new ones to enhance the visuals while maintaining a low performance cost. The new trees blend excellently into Skyrim's environment and even come with improved animations for windy weather. To compete with the new trees, I use QW's Grass Patch 2. The mod combines the grasses from Cathedral 3D Pine Grass, Origins of the Forest and Fault Vanga to create a rich and diverse ground cover. With this mod installed, you can expect to see a variety of new grass types, including taller grasses and wildflowers. This mod definitely borders more on the fantasy side of things, but I think it fits perfectly with the new trees and landscape textures. Moving on to the water, I use Water for E&B, which aims to enhance Skyrim's water by utilising the advanced features offered by E&B series. The mod completely overhauls and improves upon the vanilla water by adding new textures and effects including waves, which makes the water look much more realistic and dynamic. Now we need to overhaul the underside of Skyrim. To enhance the caves, I use Parallax Caves, also by Mysterious Dawn. The mod aims to make caves more visually appealing by adding more detail to their textures through parallax shaders. Getting more specific, for ice caves I use Skyrim Remastered Caves. The mod completely overhauls the ice caves to look like actual ice. And as for Nordic ruins, I use Rudy's textures, which offer improved details and more realistic visuals, making the ruins feel more ancient and weathered. Now we're going to move on to towns and cities. As a base, I use Skyrim 2020. This mod actually covers nearly the entirety of Skyrim with new textures. However, for my list, I only use the new textures for the cities and towns. With this mod installed, the buildings and structures in Skyrim will look more realistic and detailed. Skyrim 2020 is one of the most downloaded mods on the entire Nexus, and it's obvious why. The textures are of a near unparalleled quality, and are perfect for achieving that next gen look. Now, as wonderful as Skyrim 2020's rendition of Whiterun is, I just about prefer Illustrious Whiterun by Wine Dave. This texture pack gives Whiterun a darker and more regal look. I especially enjoy the new wall textures and dark banners. Now, to add more character to the minor cities of Skyrim, I use the Cities of the North series. These four mods replace the generic buildings using the minor cities of Falkreath, Dawnstar, Winterhold and Morthal, with new unique and visually interesting ones. The mod series aims to give each of the minor towns a strong visual identity, similar to the major cities in Skyrim. Each of the buildings is handcrafted and designed to emphasise the Nordic aesthetic of Skyrim, while also being functional and immersive. To make the interiors of our buildings look even better, I use Lux, which provides a complete rework of the game's interior lighting. The author has reworked the vanilla features and assets, rebuilt lights and placed them by hand throughout the interior spaces to create a dramatic yet amazing looking new interiors. Lux especially focuses to improve the consistency and realism of lighting for E&B users. Speaking of which, throughout this video you've been seeing my E&B of choice, Azurite Weathers with Pico E&B. Azurite Weathers comes from the author of some of the most beloved weather mods, including Cathedral and Obsidian Weathers. Azurite offers a realistic weather system with a fantastical touch that's sure to immerse you in the game's atmosphere. Adding in Pico E&B makes the blue skies bluer and the green grass greener, yet never looks over the top in my opinion. Overall, this E&B and weather combo adds a new level of beauty to Skyrim that's hard to match. Now, in order to enhance the visual appearance of our player character and NPCs in Skyrim, I use a combination of mods. Let's start with the male skin textures. For this, I use Skysight skins. This mod not only provides high resolution textures for male characters, but also gives them realistic foot meshes, instead of the strange blocks that come with the vanilla game. To match the new high-res skin textures for males, I use tempered skins for female characters. This mod provides equally as high quality textures, which I think match well with the new and improved male ones. Moving on to hair, I use Vanilla Hair Remake. This mod not only improves the hair meshes, but also adds physics to the hair. This means that when you move around, your hair will realistically sway and move with you. It's a small detail, but really adds to the overall immersion of the game. And to improve the beards, I use Beards, as well as Beards of Power. The simply named Beards mod provides new quality textures for the facial hair, whereas Beards of Power introduces new variants of the beards, giving male characters more customization options. Now to overhaul the look of NPCs, I use High Poly True to Vanilla NPC Overhaul. This mod incorporates the new beards from Beards of Power and the improved hairs from Vanilla Hair Remake, and adds them to NPCs in a lore-friendly manner. And to retexture the armour and weapons, I use Enviroment, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. It's been a staple in my load order for many years, and you can see why. It offers high fidelity, often darker new textures for the weapons and armour in-game. However, especially for iron armour, I use Resurgence Armoury by Iconic Death, as I just prefer its brighter tone and reflectiveness. To match Enviroment's quality, I use Rustic Clothing. It enhances the texture of the fabric, leather and metal used in clothing, resulting in a more realistic and detailed appearance. Rustic Clothing actually reduces the amount of dirt and grunge found on the clothes, resulting in a cleaner look, while still maintaining the authenticity of the original designs. To further improve upon the weapons, we have Artifacts. Artifacts replaces many of the bland and generic looking artifacts with new and unique models. It replaces unique items such as the Long Hammer, Aegis Bane, and the Poacher's Axe, as well as many others. The new models have been designed with great care and attention to detail, which makes the weapons feel like truly unique ones. Now onto the first of our gameplay enhancing mods. We'll start off by improving the game's melee combat with Precision. Precision aims to improve the melee combat experience in Skyrim, adding a number of features. One of the key features is physically accurate and true collisions for melee weapons, which means that you'll experience realistic hit detection while engaging in combat. The mod also introduces procedural and physics-based hit reactions, which just boosts the immersion of combat. In addition, Precision adds a variety of little immersive details to your melee combat, such as hit stop and camera shake to give you more feedback on your hits, recoils when hitting certain materials, and weapon trails that even change depending on your weapon's enchantment. These features work together to create a more realistic and engaging combat experience, which makes Precision one of my favourite releases of last year. To improve upon the vanilla magic, I use Mysticism by Simon Magnus. This mod introduces hundreds of bug fixes and balance adjustments to vanilla spells, as well as adding spells that could be found in the previous Elder Scrolls titles, like Open Lock and Burden, which slows down enemies. Mysticism also provides quality of life improvements, such as being able to cast master spells with one hand. All in all, Mysticism adds almost 200 new spells to Skyrim's vendors and loot, and in my opinion is the definitive magic overhaul for Skyrim. To rebalance our perks, I use Adamant, which Mysticism was actually designed around. Adamant prioritizes smooth progression as a perk overhaul, and despite it adding a few more perks to the game, it doesn't overwhelm players with too much bloat or power creep. Instead, the selection of perks is carefully balanced around the vanilla perk gains to maintain the game's balance. One of the highlights of Adamant is its support for underdeveloped gameplay styles, such as new perks for empowering shout, staves and unarmed combat. Now for a little quality of life improvement. Compass Navigation Overhaul builds upon Skyrim's compass system by providing additional information on the markers displayed on the compass, such as the name of the marker and its distance from the player. This feature just makes it easier to navigate in the game, especially when searching for a specific location or quest objective. Well, that about covers the main mods I use for my load order. We've gone over some of the best mods for enhancing the appearance and gameplay of Skyrim. I hope you found this video informative. Remember to subscribe for more and endorse any mods you enjoy using.